you to tell us exactly who is Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa.
Well, Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa is by profession a pharmacist, but by vocation a businessman. I like to say that a couple of things roll together. I'm a businessman, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a manager, I'm a leader. I am an author, a social worker, lay minister, all rolled into one. I believe that Mazi Sam Ohuabunwa is a bundle of talents and a bundle of virtues. And I've had the opportunity of receiving exposure in different facets of life. I've been in the industry as pharmaceutical manufacturer for many years. I served as CEO of Pfizer West Africa, Pfizer Nigeria, and Demet International for about 18 years before I retired. I have been in the economic advocacy and I have gone through the whole run. Having been chairman of Manufacturing Association of Nigeria, Ikeja, president of Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, NECA, chairman of Nigerian Economic Summit Group, right now president of Nigerian American Chamber of Commerce, amongst many other opportunities I've had. In my profession, I've risen from being a member of the society to being a fellow. And I have different fellowships. I have fellowship of the pharmaceutical manufacturer, fellowship of the Pharmacists Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria, West African Postgraduate College of Pharmacy, fellowship of Nigerian Institute of Management, fellowship of Nigerian Institute of Marketing, and so many other fellowships. It shows my multi-professional inclinations. I'm a community person. I've been involved in the work in my community. That's why I say that I'm a social worker. Building up my community. I'm a child of God. I'm saved by His grace. And I play significant roles in the full gospel as National Coordinator of Strategic Operations, member of the Central National Executive Committee of the National Director. And I serve in several other roles. I have been serving in several roles in government, right from the days I used to be chairman of the board in the Abia State University Teaching Hospital, to being a member of the board of the National Health Insurance Scheme, Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, NAITI, serving presidential committees, presidential steering committee on the global economic crisis, presidential advisory council, and now I serve as member of the subsidiary investment and empowerment program. So you can see that I say I'm accumulating rolled into one by the grace of God.
Wow, that's a remarkable one. Now, where did this all start? How, for the average youth that's going to listen or watch this or read this, how did it all start?
Well, I guess that God is the one that guides the steps of man. I was born the 16th of August 1950 in Port Harcourt in River State. And I went through school, primary, secondary school in Harcourt in Owerri. Went to university in Ife, did some postgraduate work in Columbia and the Lagos Business School. And through that movement, I got into Pfizer as from school sales rep in 1978. And within 15 years, I got to the top of my career as chairman CEO of the company. And that's how it's gone.
Wow. Now, a lot of youths out there, a lot of young people think that they have to travel out or leave the country to get the connection. Now, would you say that applied in your case when you went to Colombia?
No. Colombia was just capacity enhancing program. I was already a manager of the company, so I went to Columbia just to enhance my capacity, just like when I went to Lagos Business School. So what I needed to get to life was my B.Pharm degree from university, obtained from University of Ife. That's what set me up.
Wow.
Every other thing was just to help nurture me. And I remember in 1986, I was sales manager for Pfizer, and I went to an international meeting of Pfizer managers, sales managers from 106 countries. And at the end of that exercise, I was voted the best sales manager that attended that program. And everybody kept asking me, "What did you read? Did you read it?" Everybody at the meeting thought maybe I read overseas. And I was glad to say I did my degree in Nigeria. And I didn't feel any inferior. In fact, I felt superior because even when I joined the company in 1978, I had American, British trained pharmacists. But I was able to compete with them, and God gave me the enablement even to be their bosses. So it wasn't going abroad that made any, going abroad didn't add to anything.
Okay, now, did you have any godfather then?
There was no thing like godfather. I didn't know what a godfather was. As a matter of fact, if you want to talk, what did I have? I had not godfathers now. What is the opposite of godfather?
Almighty God.
The opposite of godfather is not almighty.
Opposite.
Yes.
Godfather, opposite. Godmother.
Godmother. Ungodly father. Huh? Ungodly father. Something like that.
Okay, ungodly father.
Ungodly father or devil father.
Okay.
Something like that. Because if you have a godfather, the opposite would be something ungodly.
Ungodly, okay.
So if you want to say, did I have anything? I had something like that. That would wanted to restrain me from making progress. There were many of them. So the only godfather I had was God himself. Yeah, it was the godfather that I had. Because there were situations people say, "Sam, look, I don't like your name. I don't like where you're coming from. But we just cannot help but like your work. Your name is too difficult to pronounce. And then you are from one funny place." So,
wow.
So I didn't have anybody as human beings, who went out of their way by their own intentions to accelerate my career. No. One is that I believe that I enjoyed tremendous grace of God. I did, and I have enjoyed that from childhood, so it was nothing new. And secondly, I also have this internal drive to optimize and maximize opportunities that are not found in terms of productivity. I used to have what I call armor against fate as a young pharmacist working in the industry. I believe because of the consciousness I had of those ungodly fathers around me, I decided to have that what I call armor against fate. What I did was that if you asked me to give you one, if you are my boss, and you said, "Sam, your target for this month is 1, I will struggle to give you 2. And the reason I did so was, if I gave you 2, and you want to find fault with me, you discount that 2. And if you discount it, the worst you can do is you discount it by 50%. I still give you what? 1. And if I gave you 1, then I have met your expectation, because after that what you asked me to give you was 1. But if I gave you 1 and you discounted it by any means, even if it's by 10%, it becomes 0.09. And you can say, I didn't meet your expectation, that it was 0.9, I didn't get 1. And I knew that kind of thing happened. People who didn't like you for one reason or the other wanted to not let you get all your credit. So because of that armor against fate and penchant to exceed expectations, I was able to overcome all obstacles. And luckily for me, I came from the side of business where your performance can be easily seen. I mean, you can be in companies and you are in some departments, people may not relate your performance with results. And so people can decide to do all kinds of things with you. But as a salesperson, if you say my target is 10 million and I deliver 20 million, you can't hide it. You can't hide it. Yeah. And when I have delivered 20 million on a consistent basis, you can't overlook me and promote another person, because somebody's going to ask you, why are you doing that? So these were the things that worked for me, and it still works anywhere today. No matter where you find yourself, the moment you make, I teach people, when I teach, I say, look, if you run a career, if you're a career person, try and make yourself nearly indispensable. Of course, they say nobody's indispensable, but make yourself nearly. Make yourself nearly indispensable, you'll be valued. If they are sending people away from the company, you'll be some of the last to go. Because everyone that runs a business wants productive staff. No matter what else. Want people that can yield returns on the investment they're making on you as an employee. So that is the greatest thing anybody can do for himself. The moment your leg is inside the door, prove yourself. That's all. All you need is an opportunity for the door to be open. And when the door is open, you step in. And from that moment, even if people were wondering, should you enter or not, but by the way you address yourself, the man will step back and say, okay, come in, sit down. So what do you say you're looking for? By the time you finish, you say, okay, follow me inside. Gradually, you get it.
In other words, one can start and make money right in Nigeria.
Oh boy, I've made money anywhere else in my life. It's all here.
Wow.
This is the place. And to be sincere to you, there are fewer places with the opportunities you have in Nigeria. Sincerely. Fewer places you can make money with greater ease than you can in Nigeria. Why? We're a large population, large markets. Two, we have undersupply of many things. Many things in Nigeria in short supply. Many. So that means that if you are creative, to be able to understand some of those things that are needed, that to help create those, fill those needs, or solve those problems. There are myriads of problems to be solved, or create a value. There are so many things that are at low value that need to be at higher levels. So between filling needs, solving problems, creating value, you will be able to get every kind of work that you need to do.
Wow. So that takes us to the next question.
Yeah.
What's your take on small businesses in Nigeria at the moment?
Small businesses everywhere is the bedrock of most economies. But unfortunately, small businesses in Nigeria are not faring very well. And that is because of the lack of understanding of the principles of enterprise development. We have some cultural handicap where we have a tendency to mix so many things. We bring in familiarity. We bring in too much emotions. We make too many assumptions over things. And those things cause problem for us as business people. Business has basic principles to run business. And if you overlook, undermine, or ignore those principles, you will have challenges. That's why we have a high level of mortality of small businesses. Small businesses don't grow. Very few grow in Nigeria because they are faced with so many odds. I mean, that's the second factor. The first factor is that we're not running them with the appropriate principles. The second is that there are many odds out there in the marketplace, even that working against the survival of small businesses. The odds are many. So it's tough to run small business. That most successful businesses in the world started small. So even in that milieu, some will still go through. Some will still overcome those challenges and become medium and big businesses.
Yeah. Now, what advice would you give them to help them in their struggle?
First is to understand the principles of running a business. Business is an endeavor that is built on principles. And if you understand the principles and obey those principles, you will succeed. So I'm asking every young person, every entrepreneur, everybody that wants to do business to take a step back and ask himself, do I know the principles of business? 70% of small businessmen who operate today have no plan. They have no business plan. They didn't make one. Today they are making none. They're just hoping, beating here and there, just hoping that things will work out. Just let's try. Let's put effort. Let's do this. They see you doing this, they try. They see Raman doing this, they try. If I ask them, what is your budget for this month? What's your target? They don't have. What did you sell last month? Many do not know. What about last year? What is your vision? Where do you want to take this your business to in 5 years? Go see. So, and yes, they want the business to succeed. What is the financial need of your business? I need money. How much? And how do you plan to pay it back? What is the cash flow that is going to come from this business? Have you sat down to look at your strengths or weaknesses, the opportunities in your market area, and the threats that are inherent in your industry? Many don't. Many so that's why they are confronted with problems. They don't know how to deal with them. Some say there's no money. Yes, there's no money, but many have gotten money and lost it. Many don't even recover their costs. They just plunge into a business. They buy something for ₦1, they sell it 120 or 150, and they think they are making margins, and they haven't taken any, because they have no records to show exactly how much it cost. They don't remember their transportation. They don't remember that they have to amortize the cost of the building where they are, the electricity, and the salary they pay to staff and to themselves. Too many things go wrong with small businesses. That's why in my foundation, Sam Ohuabunwa Foundation for Economic Empowerment, we are looking at how to assist small businesses to do well. Because I have also been involved in several small businesses. Some failed, some succeeded, and I know why those who failed and why those who succeeded, so I can help people. That's why I'm also in consultancy as Starting Consult, where we're looking at enterprise development, looking at governance and leadership and corporate management, those things that, human beings make businesses succeed. They are the ones also that make businesses fail. So we need to see the interplay between all the factors of business, factors of production in classical economics.
Now, talking about failure, tell us about one of your businesses that failed and why it failed.
One business that failed was many. Which one comes into mind? Okay, let me think of the one I set up. An ICT business set up in Oba, and I employed somebody to run the business. We had some computer school, where we're training people to use computer. Had a business center, where you could do photocopies, buying your books, those business centers. It failed just because the guy I gave the thing to run, I was quite busy. I gave him, he was a computer guy. He wasn't keeping appropriate records. He was unfaithful, fidelity. He would make the money and use it for other things. And because I wasn't regular, he took advantage of it. A few times I'll go to the place, he's not there. Not even there. So I believe that what caused the failure of that business was wrong management focus and inappropriate supervision. Now, if I'm setting small businesses, I tie ropes around everybody around there, including myself there and those people. So if you're moving to that side, drag me. If I'm moving to this side, I drag you. You can't divorce. And so I'm forced to see you, you're forced to see me. So it's not that I traveled, so Mazi is not there, anybody starts doing what they like to do. So I work out a system that makes it mandatory that I must get your report and I must see what you're doing.
Now, okay, so looking at that particular business,
Yeah.
if you have to do it again,
Yeah.
considering how busy you are,
Yeah.
what are the things that you would do
First
to
is
ensure
that
it works?
that guy wouldn't have been an employee. He would have been a co-owner.
Wow.
Got him to invest. If he didn't invest, he invests his sweat equity.
Wow.
So his future will be tied to that business.
Wow.
So, I took that, but I was paying him salary. But if he was an equity holder, and you will be sure that happens. Other things I do now is not only equity. I decide, some of the models I employ today is I don't pay you any salary. I set up a business and I ask you, any money you make from this business, you have 40% of it. I have 60, you have 40. Even if you're not an investor. So I don't pay you, you pay yourself. So if after 6 months you can't pay yourself, we know that you're not the guy we're looking for.
Wow.
So
wow.
Those are the kind of things I use. So as to minimize supervision. The moment you have an interest in the business, that itself is self-motivating. It helps you to wake up and go the extra mile.
Now, that brings me to another question. And the question has to do with partnership. What is your take on partnership?
Partnerships are good. Just this morning, I have a partnership with somebody. We're running this power energy saving device, which we launched recently. He was here this morning. I was in Abuja last week. This week he's following up on my own trip last week to do other things. So partnerships are good because it enables you to leverage and brings out your competency and mind, and then we optimize it. But the problem with partnerships is that most partnerships are entered into without proper description. This, I wish I show you something. There's a guy, in fact, there's a guy here now. We're entering into a partnership who had to do an MOU. Memorandum of understanding. Before it will be, we are partners, we're just struggling. And they find your own role. Partner A, they find my own role. Partner B, my own contribution. Your own contribution. What was the way to relate? Can you spend money without my approval? Can I spend money without your approval? How do we share the profit? How do we measure your contribution? How do we measure my own? All those things defined will make it easier for the business, for partnership to work. The major problem with partnerships, I have my experience that we have unrealized expectation. You're expecting me to do something or behave in some way. I'm expecting you to do something or behave in some way. I didn't tell you your business. You didn't tell me your own. But each person is judging each other by this unwritten expectation.
Yes.
And then I'm disappointed that you didn't come here early, or you went to see your wife, you didn't tell me, or you didn't come to work Sunday, or whatever. And I feel I'm the one laboring, and you're the one taking the benefit. And I start looking for how to take more benefit than you, and so far and so on. So partnerships require definition of roles, responsibilities, accountability, and reward.
Now, so do you encourage Nigerian SMEs who are struggling in the same industry to consider this option?
So much so that I preach it. I call it strategic alliance. I said we should consider strategic alliances. Strategic alliances is cooperate through co-opetition. We could merge, could do franchise, we could do partnerships, we could do collaborations, because that is the fact, the way for SMEs to succeed, by pulling resources together. I mean, you are doing your bit, this guy is doing his bit, everybody, 1,000 of us doing a little bit that comes to nothing. If we have a major competition, it will shake us all down, we'll all be dead. But if 2, 3, 4, 5 people come together, pool their resources financial, pool their resources intellectual, materially, save some costs, instead of five head offices, we have one. I mean, instead of 5 operational vehicles, we have 2, and so forth and so on. Burning fuel, burning energy, we can save on costs, be more efficient, and we can also, if we went into a place now, just as 4 of us came, 4 of us go to a company to make a presentation. The moment we arrive, 4 of us, whoever is receiving us, whoever is going to will see that a group of serious people have come. If it's you alone, just you, there's a way he's going to treat you.
True.
But he sees 4 guys, well dressed, arrive at their step. He will just go back first. Say, gentlemen, okay, welcome. Goes to a bigger room, preach you, goes to tell this guy, there are 4 of them more. I mean, that's just psychology of leveraging, of binding, of building strengths. If it was physical strength, if we add the 4 of us, certainly will be will become a major strength. We have 1,000, we have 4,000. And 4,000 can do more than 1,000 can do. So I really preach. And most of the things I do, I always have partners. I have partners. There's virtually anything I'm doing all alone. One is, the Bible says, if 2 are together, if one falls, the other one can lift him. And you never know when anybody can fall. We're just human beings, so there should always be somebody. My accounts, I sign them with my wife. In fact, she's alternate signature. It's not A and B, it's A or B. So if I'm in Abuja and I need money, say, sweetheart, go and collect money. She just sign the signature and money comes out. Now you say, assuming she wasn't my wife, somebody else, you can always have control. You can leave it, you can tell a manager in the bank, even though we are A and B, this A can sign 1 million naira. But this B that I don't trust, she'll be able to sign 100,000. So I limit my risk with you, but I also give you access to sign money, so that the company does not fold up suddenly because I didn't come back from Abuja. Okay, so it's always good to have some partnership, somebody that can help cover you if for any reason you're unable to be present or perform or wake up one morning.